Good morning everyone and welcome to Safari Live. My name's Hayden Turner and we are in the Djuma and Arathusa Sands in South Africa. Beautiful morning. It's got a light cloud this morning. The sun is peeking its head through and this cloud will probably burn off. I've got blue skies all around me at the moment. Scott, who is actually out already on the road, you know what Scott's like. He's super keen to find another leopard and he's out actually looking on spoor or tracks this morning. So we're going to cross over to him to say good morning just now. But this weather is in our favour. It's cool. It's going to stay like this for a little bit, I think. Once that cloud burns off, it'll get really, really hot. The forecast is to be pretty warm today. Yesterday was a bit of a scorcher, 36 degrees, about 97 or something Fahrenheit, I think it was, roughly. Pretty warm, but we did see some fantastic stuff. And it was a pretty eventful night last night for us here. Pete, you know, got that amazing call from his wife and kids, and we talked about that loads last night. We had those amazing encounters, Pete, with the termites at the end, the hyenas we had at the end, the elephant, giraffe. It was a really, really wonderful afternoon, and thank you for all your support and comments on Twitter, on Facebook, on everything, emails, everything that you do. We value hugely. So great to have you here with us. It's your first time. If it's your first time, welcome aboard. What we do is we can. It is Cat Week. We are broadcasting live to National Geographic Wild in the evenings here, so we do highlight the big cats as much as we possibly can, but also everything else. You know, it's really important to know that all the little things, the plants, the soil, everything fits into this massive, beautiful environment and habitat that we all have to try and understand more and more if we possibly can. If you're regulars, you've been here with us for this season, if you're regulars and you've been here with us for this season, years, 9 years, even more. I've got some emails from people that have been here since 2009, 2005. Great to have you aboard, and thank you so much for your support. If you've got any questions, please send them to questions@wildearth.tv, and we'll try and answer as many of them as we can. Or you can tweet us at #SafariLive. I've got Jason on board this morning with me. He's going to be cruising around and seeing what we can find. And over across with, you'll be pleased to know, with Scott this morning is Brian. He's back with us. He went to the doctors. The malaria test that he had was negative. He will do another one though, but they've put him on antibiotics thinking it was a pretty serious stomach bug. So he's back in the saddle this morning, which is fantastic news as well. Right, I won't talk anymore. I think we should get on the road. Let's have a little bit of a look around this area here while we can, and see what we can find. We saw some beautiful, on the way home last night, we saw some great hippo out of the water, making their way across to their grazing areas, which was fantastic to see. We'll try and catch up with some hippo this morning. They'll probably be in the water, I'd say, but nice to always have a little stop and look at hippo, because they're very interesting, really social animals, and just lovely to see them out of the water last night. It was a mother and juvenile, probably about 1.5 years old, travelling with her, crossing the road in front of us. Those beautiful big footprints on the road this morning, and we saw loads of other tracks this morning as well. So Scott's really trying to catch up with a leopard this morning. We always look for leopard, we always look for lion, but everything else as well. So leopard is just, it's a give-in. We constantly look for them. It's one of the things that's very, very deep in our heart here on Sabi Sands, and particularly on the two reserves we're on. So we'll do that. But what we should do now is cross over to Scott. I'll just find out if he's in a good signal area. Control, are you okay to cross to Scott now? Okay, we're just going to make sure that Scott's in a good area that he can talk. Sometimes you go down in these little dips and we lose a little bit of signal. that you would expect that out in the African bush. We're broadcasting from a really, well, it's not a remote area, but it's remote enough that you know, we've had to put all the infrastructure in here to get this signal out to you. We put huge masts up that broadcast the signal. So we'll just check to see that he's okay, and we'll cross over to say good morning to you. Alrighty, so he's good to go, and I'll see you just now.
Well, good morning folks, and welcome to Djuma in the Sabi Sands. Myself and Brian are teamed up again today. He's back to full strength and very happy to be back out in the field. Myself and Hayden decided to split up this morning and not do a joint start so that we could start searching for tracks and signs of anything interesting from as soon as possible. We didn't get very far before we found something quite interesting that we thought you would like to see. Some new additions to the Vuyatela waterhole. There's 7 of these little critters and they are very cute. They're a little bit of a way off, but I'm sure you guys can see the baby Egyptian geese. Now we've counted 7 of them. The one in the far left of the screen does seem to be injured. It's got a limp, and it also appears to be smaller than its 6 siblings. So it's a little bit of an ugly duckling scenario we have here, or ugly gosling, I guess, in this case. But really cute. So apparently they were seen 2 days ago for the first time, but this is the first time I've personally laid eyes on them. And it'll be very interesting to monitor their growth. But without further ado, we shall continue on our quest. I have yet to spend enough time with leopard, and that is definitely going to be the focus of the morning drive from my side. Having said that though, you know what it's like. We could come around a corner and, just like with these baby Egyptian geese, find something else that's interesting to interpret. There were tracks of a male leopard. We're not sure which one. Speculations that it could be either Kunyuma or Quarantine, which are two of Karula's youngsters. So those tracks were heading from our right-hand side in a northerly direction to our left. The last tracks we had of them were in this riverbed on our right-hand side. We did search thoroughly, but didn't come up with anything. Yesterday afternoon, Pete and myself spent a lot of time in this area. I was just out in a vehicle helping to find some animals for Pete and Hayden. Anyway, at least we know that there was a leopard in this general area, so we'll start off here by looking for some tracks and then see where that takes us. It was quite interesting sitting around the campfire last night listening to everyone's speculations as to where Karula might be. everyone has their own theory and justifications for assuming that she's in a certain area, or potentially she's given birth, potentially she hasn't. At the end of the day, though, there is only one way to find out, and that is by finding her. So hopefully that won't take too long. It would be normal for her to have changed her behavior if she has given birth. She'll have to bear in mind that her 2 young male cubs, Kunyuma and Quarantine, may react negatively to the new cubs, so she may want to move them away from them. Other dominant male leopards that may pass through this area, other than the father, which is Mvula, as they might kill the cubs, or they will kill the cubs if they come across cubs that they haven't sired. It's a beautiful morning here. Again, we've been blessed with some relatively cool weather for this time of year, which is a real treat for us. It does seriously heat up as the drive continues from about 8 until 9, and the first hour of the afternoon drive can be very hot, so we thoroughly enjoy the cooler weather when it is around. There's a thin layer of clouds, but I think they will burn off in not too much time. There's some buffalo tracks heading down this road. Fresh buffalo dung. For those of you who are watching for your first time, you can ask us questions, and to do that you would hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, and to send an email it's questions@wildearth.tv. I can't stress how much your questions help us when we're out here, and it also gives us a good idea of what you guys are interested in. So the more questions that come through, the more we can try and fine-tune the experience. Brian, I'm not sure if you can see something over there, but I just got a little glimpse of it, of something that...
A little glimpse of something.
Brian and I have been seeing a log on our right-hand side that we've both made a mistake in thinking it was an animal, but it actually turns out to be a log, so it was just a little private joke between us. We've both been caught out by the notorious stump.
Good looking stuff, man.
It is a good looking stump.
we'll get out as quickly as we can, and we'll use that small window to have a look for predators, because we know that they're going to go down and find shade or find the cool resting areas very, very early. This morning, because of the temperature, it's quite cool, a little bit overcast. Their activity period may be a little bit more prolonged. So we'll use this period of time now. I like to still go to the water holes and have a little check. We've had a lot of questions about the resilient old bull hippo, who I did follow for about a week after his battle that he had on Bayatilla Dam. And if you don't know about the story, just a little bit of the backstory, he had a dominance encounter, or dominance altercation with one of the dominant bulls around the area. Now, he came off second best, and he had a very, very severe wound on his right shoulder and his right hindquarter. So what we did was followed him. He came up from Bayatilla Dam onto the quarantine area. Then he ended up at Treehouse Dam. Now, he was there in the mornings or in the afternoons, but he used to disappear during the day. And one day I was over at Arathusa on their reserve, which is a beautiful reserve, and we just came around this corner up to this dam, and sure enough, I was actually looking at buffalo at the first, and there in the corner of the dam was this old injured bull, hippopotamus, and we thought, wow, I found him. We went back there the next day. I think he was there the next day, if I'm going back in my memory properly, but then we lost him again, and we haven't heard about him since. We've asked loads of guides, no one's really seen him, so who knows. They will travel quite long distances. He may be still okay, or he may not, but we just don't know. But we're always keeping our eyes open and listening for any news on that, but I haven't got anything more to tell you other than that, really. So we can go have a look at Treehouse, Twin Dams, the Thursday this morning. Have a look to see what else we can find. Always good to do the strip, and I had a dream about cheetah last night, which is a bit weird, but it's always one of those things. Expect it when you expect it with cheetah, because I always tell you that you could find them in areas like this. I've seen them all different habitats. Their preferred habitat is more open grasslands, very slightly wooded areas, but you could see them anywhere. Well, not anywhere, but lots of different habitats. They're very interesting cats. They will adapt. If food is scarce, they will definitely adapt their behavior and hunt in this sort of area as well. But we'll head over to Arathusa, but on our way I like to just check these water holes as well. Excuse me. If you're an educator, if you're a teacher, a teaching assistant, or involved with any educational institution, and you want to get your kids watching Safari Live, we've had loads of classes. If we haven't been able to get to your question, we do apologise, but still try and keep watching, because we really do love to answer questions, particularly from the whole class. And if you've got a question from an individual in the class, or however you want to work it, we'll try and get to it, because it's really important for us that we engage with as many people as we possibly can. And school groups are where it's at for us as well. It's just such a fantastic feeling to have a school group watching you and be able to communicate through this to the whole class and make their day, and hopefully inspire them to engage a little bit more about the planet that they live in. So really, really important. If you have a school group, or you have access to a live stream that you can get your class watching, please do, and we'll definitely try and come to the party for you. We had a lovely encounter with those two bull elephants here yesterday. Elephant tracks down here. this morning. That beautiful big bull, he's right underneath the car there and pulled out some lovely foliage that we parked of, and didn't have a worry in the world. Completely comfortable, and be so comfortable and relaxed without really offensive. It's always nice just to come and sit and have a little look, because you just never know what you can see at a water point, a watering hole. Yesterday when we came down, we had a hyena lying in the water here. It was so hot, and they will do that. They'll come down and sit right by the water, lay in a little bit of mud or a little bit of shallow water just to cool themselves down. And it was the mother, the expectant mother, at our den just over the way. So it looks a bit quiet here, but that's okay. We came, we looked. Yeah, let's pop down to Twin Dams and have a little look there. The giraffe we saw yesterday was fantastic as well. That was a very, very nice sighting to have that bull giraffe allow us to talk about him for so long and show some of the physiology about the giraffe and the difference between the males, the size of the female and the male. So Pete's having a bit of a lie-in this morning, well deserved, and it's so great to have Scott on board. Mark will be arriving in the next sort of 24 to 48 hours as well. Mark Weiner, who's a fantastic, incredibly knowledgeable guy, and really looking forward to catching up with him. Mark and I have got a friend in common, Marius Swart, who's a wonderful guide as well, and just be great to... I've never met Mark before, but I've heard loads about him. I know he's a sensational guy, and looking really forward to that. So yeah, and then we've got a couple of nights left before Pete and I do the changeover. Feels a bit weird, folks, I have to say. Feels a little bit weird. But you're going to be in the hands of two incredibly experienced guides, Mark and Scott. Between them, I'm rather envious actually to think that they've got another month and a half here, because it's just an amazing place, an amazing opportunity, amazing experience. But wow, they're two great guys and they're going to be amazing together as well. Mark knows this place very, very well too, so that's always a huge benefit to have that experience on the ground. Very quiet this morning. It's lovely though. It's just great to be out in the bush, driving around. There was a lot of tweets and last night that we didn't get to, of course. It's really hard to get them all, but fantastic responses to the little quizzes, folks, and I really thank you for that. They're good fun. And the kids, we got some really nice nice quotes and tweets and just comments really, that a lot of the kids that were watching were really enjoying the quizzes. So that's a great thing. Good fun stuff, you know, that's what it's about. You've got to have fun. You've got to get out here and make it fun for everyone, really. I've never taken myself too seriously. I think it's really important in life just to have a bit of a sense of humor about everything. I mean, obviously serious subjects need to be given serious thought, but sometimes it's nice just to have a bit of a laugh, isn't it? And those little quizzes are good fun. There was a couple of questions asking what was Pete or my most dangerous encounters, and we probably need a whole show to get through those. I've had a lot of dangerous encounters that a few have been my fault, and a few have been just the situation that occurred, and you wouldn't have been able to predict that. But one time I was tracking black rhino in Zimbabwe, and I was a little bit experienced for what I was doing, but I learned very, very quickly from that encounter to not do it again. And that sort of I think was my one chance with rhino to live another day. But in captivity also, you've got to really have this about you, because when you're working in a zoo situation, you've got to understand the animal's capabilities, and they also don't have a fear of humans. That's a very big difference. Out here, when we're in the bush, there's a certain zone, there's a certain invisible zone that animals will sort of understand that you don't overstep that mark. In captivity, the animals don't have that, so you've got to really have your wits about you and never drop your guard, because those same capabilities as animals in the wild, they just don't have the fear of humans, and that can be a very, very dangerous situation to be in. And fear is probably not the right word. It's understanding of humans in a way, and just that no-go zone that we both sort of respect. When we drive up to elephants, or even to lion for that matter, we normally park ourselves a distance away, where we give the animals space. Then we turn the engine off and we give the animals space to dictate what they want to do, and they can either walk a distance away from us, or they can walk close to us, depending on what they want. There's a little bit of a dodgy signal area here, folks, so I do apologise. I hope I don't lose you. If I do, I'll be back really, really soon. Stick with us. I'm just going to turn right here. So sometimes, and you have a bit of a look around, and there isn't a lot of animals around. They've moved on to another area. It's absolutely perfect to be like this. And what we do is we just try and find where groups do. But what I'm doing, the reason why I'm driving, I'm not just stopping now and talking about anything else, birds or anything, which are really important, don't get me wrong. But I want to try and maximise our time looking for predators in this sort of cooler morning hour. Sun's starting to peek its head through, that cloud's starting to burn off, and it's really important to look around now. Whenever we look out of the vehicle like this, most of you know we're looking at tracks on the ground. The camera's in a position that's very, very difficult to show you. That's why when we do find interesting tracks, well, all tracks are interesting, but we find tracks that we want to explain to you, whether it be lion, leopard, elephant, and loads of other things. I'll take a photograph of them on my phone and then bring it up to camera and show you. That's the best way to do it, and we can talk about it in detail then as well. Okay, we're just going to travel along Twin Dams Road at the moment. I'm just going to find out off control where Scott is, so we're not covering the same area, so please excuse me. Control, do you copy? Hey mate, can you tell me what Scott's location is, please, mate? Okay, thanks mate. Anyway, so Alex and Alex are in control this morning, doing a great job as usual. They're just going to find out where Scott is. We're not sort of it's nice to try and maximise your time. The two vehicles are an absolute luxury. I mean, Pete and Mark Wine, other people who've been doing it with WildEarth, they used to do it in one vehicle, and it was incredible success and fantastic. Mark's going to say the same thing, is having two vehicles. Might be just a little bit on here, folks. It's a little bit of a dodgy to try and go this slightly. And yeah, that was with the airwaves. We don't really know why. Alex and Mark Graham and Will and all the team and all the operations team, incredibly team of people and knowledgeable about what we do here and broadcasting live, but there's a couple of little spots here that we get just a bit of signal dropout, and trying to get to a better signal and close the repeaters now. I just do like this area. I've seen a couple of leopard here. We've seen Tingana here. I've seen Karula just over here, and I've seen her offspring let's start again. Karula's offspring quarantine. He has been in this area as well, so it's always good to just come down and have a little bit of a look around. Karula is a real mystery at the moment, folks. We're really trying to put two and two together. We think that she's got cubs. We're not sure. We're looking all ends of the reserve and listening for anything we can actually find out about Karula at the moment, because it'd be great to see her before the end of the weekend. But we're not sure where she is. I just like to check this spot just here, because on my first day I saw Quarantine, the male, just here, and he was just sitting in under there, just sitting in under there. Nice. I'm not sure. I'll wait till he confirms, and we'll probably cross to him. One of the things I love about Scott, he's got a great sense of humor. He's a really fantastic fellow to be around. He's great news, but he's also like a dog with a bone sometimes. I love it. He just wants to find cats, and he gets out of the vehicle loads, and he's really keen. He's a keen individual, and that's a great quality to see in someone out in this type of environment. You've got to have passion, you've got to have enthusiasm, and he's really dedicated to finding stuff. So I like that. That's a great quality. Just trying to get up to a bit better signal here. You never know what's around that next corner, as I always say. I just got a message from control, folks. That's really special. Yeah, I don't really want to think about it at the moment. Yeah, a lot of people tweeting in and sending messages at the moment saying thank you, and we're going to miss you guys, and we're going to miss you too, Pete and I. It's a very hard thing to try and grasp in my mind at the moment. It's 2 days away, so I'm not going to dwell on it, but it's going to be a very big hole in my life after Sunday night. I go home to see my beautiful wife and son. I go back to managing one of the biggest wildlife trusts in the United Kingdom's education department, the Surrey Wildlife Trust. I get great satisfaction out of working there in the United Kingdom, educating young people about their environment, how important their environment is to them, the English countryside. It doesn't really matter where you are in the world, you can apply this passion and enthusiasm about the environment to anywhere. And that's what I do for a certain part of the year. One of my hats is that. I run safaris, I do this, I do wildlife television presenting, and I'm a dad and I'm a husband as well, so there's lots of other hats on there as well. But I suppose my point is that I don't think anything is going to fill this gap of Safari Live with you guys and this project. I could do this forever. But thank you for your messages. Very, very heartfelt thank you. Yep. A few people asking about this. Yeah, I certainly have. Funny old story that is. But hey, good fun. Just a bit of fun. The lucky porcupine quill has brought us amazing luck, and looks like it may be bringing us a bit of luck this morning with Scott. Just going to wait until we get him in position, and I'll wait for Control to ask me for a live cross to him, and yeah, we'll see. I'm going to head up this. Sorry folks, just got to talk to Control. More information please, Control. Okay mate, copy. So you just never know about the bush. We've had lion in here, we've tracked leopard through here, we've had elephant up here. It's just a smorgasbord. It's a buffet of fantastic opportunities, and that's what we do. We drive around and we find things. We use our little bit of knowledge. We use the intelligence that we get from the radio, the Game Drive channel. We listen to the guides. And then the most important thing for me is a little bit of intuition. And I mentioned it the other morning. Scientists, you know, the best neurologists in the world at the moment are trying to map the human brain. They're trying to get a digital sort of sequence or a digital mapping, some software that maps the human brain, or where all the parts of the human brain work and are. But there's one part they can't. And I listened to a fantastic radio program about 3-4 months ago, and it was this great scientist, and I can't remember his name, but he was absolutely mesmerizing to listen to. And it was great to know that that science just can't explain some things. It can't explain intuition, that gut feeling, that instinct. They do not know where that is in the human brain. And that's what I love. Intuition, particularly when you're in the bush. It's a funny old thing, I suppose. You say, oh, it was just instinct when I found those animals. Well, of course it was. And when you didn't find them, it wasn't intuition, I suppose. But you know, it's a definite gut instinct that some of us use when we're out here. Which road to go down, what the feeling is. I like it a lot. It's nice. Okay mate, copy that, keep me updated. Might be having a little bit of a problem with Scott's signal at the moment, so sorry folks. Just looking at some tracks here. And that's fine. It's hyena, which is great as well, of course. Copy. Excuse me, folks. Folks, I'm just talking to control, just trying to find out some information about where I'm going to head over. We've got a bit of a issue with Scott's signal there, so I'm going to try and head over to the location he was and get him back to safe signal, and we're going to make a plan. Please excuse me, but just understand I'm just talking to them. Control, just give me a little bit more information on the lock. So cheetah cut line, yeah. Copy that. Okay, making our way there now. Okay, standing by. All right. Let me just make a plan here, folks. Okay. This is a great little tool for me. It's an active map, and I can tell exactly where I am. Really interesting to talk about a little bit. Really nice little piece of kit. It's a map of the 2 reserves, and all those little red dots for me pins that I've put in where I've either seen cheetah or lion or unusual sightings, and then all this information I will send back to the scientists and researchers that we have on the reserve, and every one of those little dots has got the animals that I saw there, if I knew who they were, and a little bit more information, what they were doing, whether they were eating, whether they were sleeping or whatever. So that's a fantastic little thing for me, particularly when you haven't been on the reserves for, you've only been here a month. Juma I feel very comfortable with, but Arathusa I'm still getting to know a bit of, and just a beautiful place, but it takes a while to get to know. So that's great. All right, we're going to make our way. So we'll probably be doing a little bit of talking, folks. So if you want to send some questions now, that'd be great, because we've got a bit of time. I'm going to be driving to this location, and unless we see something unusual, we probably won't stop, because what is there is definitely worth driving for. I hope we can get there in time. It's a little bit of a bumpy road too. There's corrugations on the road, which means that it's a little bit of a vibration. But if you've got any questions, general questions about what we're doing, the project, the vehicles, anything you want, this is a great time to ask, and I'm more than happy to share anything with you about my past. I think just one thing, I do read loads and loads and loads of feedback from all of you, and you're incredibly generous in your comments, and you're very, very kind in your words. So that's the first thing I want to thank everyone for on Pete and my behalf, and all the team, really, all the thanks that we get. But I do read it all. I just don't get a chance to respond or to everyone individually, so it's a group thank you to everyone. But there was a couple of ones particularly I like to help people when they ask about how did we get into this, and how to inspire either younger people or older people, if you're feeling like a change in your career and you want to get into either conservation, wildlife television presenting, and so on. I think the thing to remember is that there's no real sort of format to it. There's no format to getting into this game. You can try your best in all different ways, shapes and forms, but the most important thing you need to have is passion and enthusiasm. People will see that. There's dozens of people like Pete and myself out there that are incredible, even, you know, just amazing at their job, and individuals, we've all got different traits and different sorts of specialities or generalisms that we have in what we do. I travel all over the world and do just excuse me guys, I've got just a bit of a radio call to make. I'm just talking to Scott now, folks. Scott, do you copy? Hello, mate. What is the situation on lock? Okay, I copied that, mate. I am just about to approach Cheetah Cut Line now, and I'll probably be there in about 5 minutes. I don't have fantastic comms with whoever is on lock. I can just barely hear them, but if you could, I'm pretty sure you've already let them know that anyway, yeah? Thanks, big man. Standing by. Thanks, folks. Sorry about that. It's just really important. I've got 2 sends of information in my ear. I've got the control room talking to me, telling me what's going on, and I've also got the Game Drive channel telling me what's going on and talking to each other. It's pretty hectic in my head, but sometimes if I just stop and I look off into the distance, I'll always tell you when I'm talking or I'm listening. Okay, so we're going to just go up a little bit further and we're going to go left. So back to, if this is the sort of thing you get into, it's important to know that it's an industry. Television presenting used to be very, very difficult to get into, but now what I want to inspire people to understand and to try and engage them with is that you can broadcast yourself these days so easily. Just might lose you here. Have you still got me? Have you still got me, control? Slowly, slowly. Okay, we've got a little, we've got a few more dips to go through, so just bear with us, okay? So folks, I'm driving really slowly because we've just a signal issue in this area. I hope you're with me still. But I really want you to know that with one of these phones and what you've got access to in this day and age, you can have your own little channel. You can do it on any of the mediums that you can get on the internet now and have your own little channel. Make your own little documentaries. Get them out amongst it. Get out there. Do it, even if it's in your own garden and you're learning about invertebrates in your own garden or wildlife in your own area. Never let this sort of incredibly heavy technologically programming get you sort of so in awe that you think you can't get into it. Go out and make your own little films. Go out and make little 5-minute stories. All a story has to have is a beginning, a middle, and an end. And all you got to do is go out and find an interesting subject and talk about it passionately. And you know what? You're a you're a little presenter, no matter what you do. And I really want to inspire you to do that. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't be sort of questioning how you talk or how you look or whatever. Just get out there and do it and have a go. Really, really important, folks. I think that's a nice thing to share with you because for me, when I first started at the zoo, the first bit of television I ever did was on a kids' television show in Australia, and I was like Zookeeper Hayden, and the television presenters that were on that kids' television channel used to come in and feed the giraffes with me and feed the other animals, and oh goodness, don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. They're just a couple of lion. Wow, wow, wow. Look at this. How lucky are we? Hello, my girls. Hello, my girls. All we're doing is just sitting here admiring you. Well, how lovely is that, eh? 2 lioness just sitting here and taking in the morning sun. Oh, what a special encounter. Oh, great stuff. Fantastic control. So we're just going to sit pretty here with good signal and watch these girls. Control confirm it was only 2 individuals. Okay, brilliant, mate. Thanks. We're here. Well, folks, isn't that beautiful? 2 lioness. I'm not sure who they with, what pride they're with, or anything at the moment, because this is the first 2 lioness I've seen close to Juma for a couple of weeks. So we'll try and learn some more about who they are, or if they belong, what pride they belong to, or if they're transient females that may be moving from one pride to another. It's the dynamics of lion prides, folks, are just so incredible. You can read all the books. You can, oh, look at that, lovely. You can read all the books and talk to all the scientists, and the scientists will tell you there's a structure. Definitely there's a structure. Fantastic lion specialists will tell you all the information they can, but then they'll always come across in their life exceptions to those sort of philosophies or boundaries that they have in lion ecology. But the dynamics depend on so many different things. They depend on how much food availability there is, climatic conditions, pride takeovers, all these different things, and it takes a long time to get to know the structure in an area. So I think the most important thing we do now is just admire these beautiful, beautiful females, and hope they walk across this road in front of us. You might see some nice social behaviour here, where she walks up to her and rubs heads with her. Just going to take a few photos, folks. So you might hear some clicking. Nice social rubbing there. Might be just going down to lie in this bit of shade here. We'll just watch her. We'll watch the other female too. Yeah, that's what she's done. She's just gone down to... I'm just going to roll backwards, folks. Just to slowly. She's a little bit closer to us. This one here. Hello, my girl. We're just here to say how wonderful you are. Actually, I'll just drive up a little bit further, Jace, so you've got a bit more of a facial shot. There we go. How are you? You can see the remnants on that back leg of that sort of spotted pattern. Maybe just, yeah, Jace is just zooming in there. That spotted pattern that they're born with when they're cubs, very, very prominently, and then it starts to fade as they get older. But you can still see just the remnants there, normally on their belly as well. Those lovely sort of spotted pattern that they're born with, and then starts to fade over time. It's great to be in the presence of lioness. We've had the boys for some time now, but the two girls here, now they're obviously the ones that, no, not obviously, they are the ones that do most of the work when it comes to hunting. But if there's no females around, obviously the boys do have to hunt, and we talk about it a lot. We talk about that mane on the boys, that prominent, really showy, luxuriant mane that they get. The males are about 5 years of age. The females don't get that mane or any prominent hair around their neck. They pretty much as what you see now, much more streamlined and much more equipped for being inconspicuous when it comes to hunting. So there's a word called sexual dimorphism. I used it the other day. It's a nice word to understand. It doesn't just apply to lions. It applies to all animals. And basically, it's the difference in size. In a nutshell, it's a difference in size between the males and the females. It doesn't always have to be the males that are bigger. Some species, the females are bigger. In spiders and other things, many other things. But with lion, the sexual dimorphism is quite obvious when you look at them at about 5 years of age. The males have got that incredibly big mane, much heavier set, probably about 50 kilograms, about 110 pound heavier, and very, very different in size. So we've just got another vehicle coming up now. Behind us you might hear, and we're just going to sit with these girls for a bit longer. We're going to move up to this other female that's grooming herself, or I think this one's sleeping. This one I'm just going to move up to and just have it so you can have a look at. You might see some similarities between your cat at home, or if you have a cat, and this beautiful creature here. So you watch, have a look what she's doing. She's grooming herself exactly like a domestic cat would do. All of the cats, really. Licking that paw and then wiping her face with that. That's great. I'm sure many of you that are cat owners are seeing similarities with your feline friends right now. Okay, we've got some questions coming through, which is great. Control, can you send one through? We just got a question through on Twitter, and it's from Safari Hayes. Hello there, how are you? Welcome this morning and welcome aboard. It's great to have you with us. And Safari Hayes is asking how old I think these females are. It's always a little bit tricky to guesstimate. Much easier with the boys because of that mane, and you can pretty much sort of see if they're in full mane. They're normally sort of 5 to 7 plus years of age. But with the females, a little bit trickier. I think these are probably around sort of 3 to 5 years old. Maybe they're in beautiful condition. That one that stood up, they're very, very big girls. They're perfectly sort of proportioned. I would say about 3 to 5 years old, and that's a guesstimation. Obviously, if you're sitting with a line specialist or a line scientist, for that matter, they would have a lot more. That's a beautiful shot, isn't it? Look at that. I love that face. You would have a lot more sort of things to go on, but really it's just about size and condition and vigor and vitality. Not much scarring on the animals as well, which goes to show you that they're probably younger than older. So I'd probably say about 3 to 5 years of age, and we're looking at a beautiful female in the early years of her breeding life as well, and she's having a bit of a scratch there. Really good. So, but great question, Safari Hayes. It's a guesstimation. I'd probably say about 3 to 5 years. I'm sure you're probably looking at these animals at the moment, and I said it just a minute ago, but the similarities are just incredible with even our domestic friends that we have in our homes. A lot of grooming. Okay, another question coming through, which is great. Control, do you copy? Control, do you copy? Control, try again. I just can't quite hear your comms. Yeah, gotcha now. Yes, I do, please, mate. If you can repeat that question, that would be great. Tammy's just asked a really great question on email, whether the females... Hello, Tammy, and welcome to you on Safari Live. Great to have you with us. And asking whether females break away from prides just like males do. Well, normally the females will stay with the pride, and there's a few exceptions, and there's several exceptions, and you know what, the female number in the pride will normally stay stable to a point as long as there's, well, it will depend basically on food availability. Now, the food availability will govern how many females there are in a pride, and if there isn't enough food around, you'll get breakaway females that will take off and potentially do what these two are doing right now. Interesting, this other female's now just started to become very alert. So these two females could be in that boat. They could be breakaway females. Sometimes, if a coalition takes over a pride, there can be females that will break away from that as well. There's so many different dynamics, Tammy, and it really does depend on a lot of different things. But normally they will stay in the pride group. There'll be females that could be related, or they could be nomadic transient females that have come in, and those recruits will be accepted in certain times by other males, and it just really depends on a lot of different factors: food availability, climatic conditions, coalition takeovers by males, and many other things. But normally they'll stay together. If there's not enough food, there could be some breakaways. I think there's enough food around here in Juma and Arathusa and Sabi, that's for sure. But we don't know the history of these two, and all we can say is that they may be part of a pride or moving out of a pride and are potential recruits for another pride. But it is a very, very complex and dynamic life of a lion, and we are looking at really the true only social cat. Normally they do spend their days in groups called prides, as we know, and all the other cats really on the planet are either solitary or will be only found in mother-cub situations, or occasionally you will see a family unit. We have seen, and I was only talking to Graham last night about leopard, and he has seen Mvula, Karula and two of her cubs together, which is quite a rare sighting, that's for sure. And you will see those individuals very rarely together. Leopard you normally only see singly, or mother and cubs, but lions are generally found in prides. The pride can consist of anything from 3 to 5 individuals up to super prides, into 20 individuals. And then you get the big coalition males, so you'll get maybe 2 males that are very, very strong and are forced to be reckoned with, up to potentially 5 males, even more sometimes, but they're quite rare to find. So the coalitions that we have seen here of those 5, what we call the Birmingham males, or the Manuletti males, they're also known as, if they stay together, which is a potential, we've got a massive force to be reckoned with. It doesn't always mean that it's a stable pride situation either. Sometimes too many boys can make things, they're not necessarily fighting with each other, but there's a lot of mouths to feed, and the instability can become quite apparent very, very quickly. But it just depends on so many things and so many individuals and personalities within that pride, Tammy and everyone else listening. There's a lot to it, but I think it's fascinating to learn as much as you possibly can. Now, I can see, folks, I'm just going to look through my binoculars, but I think I can see that wildebeest. Yep. No, is it Nyala? Yep, it's Nyala. 2 Nyala bulls. Now, Jason, if you can just do a wide shot now for me, please, mate. And just over there near that dead tree, yep, right there, you've probably seen them, mate. Inside there's a couple of Nyala bulls. You can just see their heads there, folks. That's probably about 100 metres. Have a look. Come back to the females now. Quick. Sorry about that. Really quick. She's just seen them, okay? Look at the position she's moved into. The sister has also seen them, or know that the female's onto something. They're hiding now. The other female's going to take position. She's going to get down low, and drop. Now, this is something quite incredible to watch, folks. The Nyalas have absolutely no idea that these 2 lions are here. Stay on those lines, Jace. I'll keep my eyes on the Nyala. There's 3 Nyala bulls. What they will wait for to happen here is 4 Nyala bulls. Okay. Those Nyala, their behaviour is normally to stay in a little bit of cover. They won't come out into this open country here. But what they'll wait to do, these 2 females, is the Nyala to walk up until they're adjacent with them, or in line with them, I should say, behind this dead tree. If Jason just pans up a little bit, mate, just up a little bit for me, buddy. Keep the line in shot. There's a some dead vegetation just there. That's it. Great, mate. That's a nice shot. Line in the bottom right hand corner, and there's a dead tree falling down. What they'll wait for to happen is those Nyala to move in there, and then I'm predicting, I've been wrong many times before, but I'm going to predict they're going to use that time to cover the ground, the distance between them and the Nyala, unless the Nyala come around this side. We'll just keep our eyes on this. Okay, and Nyala's looking down here, completely unaware that these 2 lioness are here. 4 young Nyala bulls. My prediction is that once they go behind that little bit of dead vegetation, the lion will take that opportunity. You can see that the female, the closest female to the Nyala, has lifted her head. She's watching, and she'll just wait until she's got the cover, and then they'll start to move up, and they'll keep low to the ground, and they'll probably cover that distance quite quickly. What we will do is move up forward, so we've got a great vision of both of them. They're waiting for that last bull to go. If they get seen, it will be a wasted effort. Soon as that last Nyala bull walks behind that vegetation, they will use that cover to cover that ground. There's a huge alert at the moment between. He's just waiting to get the moment, And then she's going to just get up there and use that last little bit. Now, I'm not going to start my vehicle, folks, because I don't want the Nyala. Okay. We're going to move up. I want you to watch this. Watch this. Sorry, Jace, it's a bad spot. Let me get up a bit further. The two Nyala bull are completely unaware. Completely unaware. They're so unaware. They're actually sparring at the moment. Okay, you've seen that. You can see that lioness. Let's get a wide shot of the Nyala as well, where they are. The Nyala are just in that shady patch there. That distance is too far for her to accelerate. The Nyala will be able to get away from there. She's using this cover. She's now making her way around. She's dropping down, staying very, very still. She's got the cover. Now this will depend on her experience, her knowledge and her understanding. She has to anticipate this. They are walking around the back of this vegetation. This is fantastic. Absolutely beautiful. The other female's coming up behind, but stay on that, Jace. Just stay on her. Don't move. I'll tell you exactly what's going on with the other female, everyone. Superb. Now, once these make a kill, it's that individual there. Once he goes behind that tree, she'll probably make a move. Now look, the other female is going around the other side. Just get a wide shot, Jace. Get a wide shot. Other female's going around the other side. She's going to ambush. Just can't get, I can't disturb them. I'm going to try and go around the other side. Bear with me, folks. Jace, you're going to have to try and follow this. I'm really sorry, guys. I've got to go around the other way. There's another female. One's going to ambush. One's going to push down one way and the other's going to push the other way. Have I got that? There's one female moving through. Beautiful. Absolutely pure apex predator doing what they do. Absolutely motionless. The tension. It's really hard to put into words, folks, but the tension is incredible. The really hard thing at the moment for us is that the location we're in is a little bit far away from the Nyala. So all we're probably going to see is a massive burst of speed when the time is right. One of the individuals has gone round the other side of that vegetation. And this lioness that we can see is potentially the second or the ambush individual. So one could chase them, and if they did scatter and one came through this way, then this individual... HT copy. HT copy. Good, mate, good. What's your location? Can you just stand by, please, mate? I'll come back. Stand by, Craig. I'll call you back, mate. Stand by, control. We're good. This is incredible, folks. Absolutely incredible. At the moment we can't get both animals in the one shot just because the Nyala are just that little bit too far away. They're being patient. They're not letting this opportunity slip. And if the Nyala did turn around and start to come back this way, then obviously that's in the lioness's favour. But at the moment there's a little bit of a gap between cover for them, particularly because this area has been heavily grazed and is sort of a little bit of an open grassy area. The vegetation's not quite as heavy, and they're just using this little bit of cover to bide their time. Absolutely beautiful to see, folks. This is just magic. Patience is everything. This is where these females learn their skills. They learn to hunt. Every different species that they hunt has different traits and different abilities. The Nyala, these four bulls, one of them did actually have a tendency to turn around then and have a little bit of a lock horns with the other one, which can be a detrimental practice for them at the moment, to drop their guard and lower their ability to be aware of what's going on in their surroundings. It's patience, folks. We've just got to have patience. These lioness need to eat, and that's what it is. It's just about the fundamentals of life, the building blocks of the bush. I try to give you as much information as I possibly can about what's going on. The Nyala are out of my vision at the moment, but obviously still in the lion's vision. Oh yeah, I can see them now, just standing in the shade, but potentially in striking distance. If that Nyala turns around, he starts to walk back, or any of them for that matter, she will take her opportunity. And for two lioness, it's a good meal. Nyala bull. Okay. He's turned around and he's starting to walk back. You will start to see her body language change, her posture change. She'll start to get up and go into a low stalk. I'll tell you what's going on. There's a bit of vegetation. This is what Safari Live is all about. We had no idea this was going to happen. We get a radio call that there's lioness. We come here. We use a little bit of intuition. And we're sitting in the middle of a lion hunt. Her body position's about to change. I can't see the Nyala, but I'm going on her posture. She's changing position. I still can't see the Nyala. We have to stay this distance, folks. Under no circumstances would I dare interrupt this. This is raw and real, and what happens in the African bush. She's making her move, slowly, stalking, one foot after the other, carefully placed, so she doesn't make a sound. When she feels the time is right, she will accelerate. If she's experienced, she will know the distance exactly that she can overpower the acceleration of the Nyala. I can't see the Nyala, but I can tell from her that she's about to unload. Absolutely motionless. Okay, the Nyala are now coming back into my picture. She's going around and trying to get a bit more cover. The Nyala are now starting to come out into the open. We are right on the edge of another reserve here, folks. And I'm just hoping that these Nyala come this way. I have to advise you now that if the Nyala do go deeper in, we're not allowed to follow them. It's on a reserve that we don't drive on, and if nature is in our favour this morning, these Nyala are going to come across this way, and we'll see what unfolds here. But at the moment, we've got an old half Australian, half African bloke sitting in the front seat with a heart rate of about 190 at the moment. A young South African cameraman who held his hand out to me shaking a minute ago. We are absolutely engrossed in this, and hopefully we've got thousands of people online watching a magnificent sequence of events. You can see in her body language, her patience is just waiting at the moment. Jace, if you want to just pan across to the Nyala and show everyone, just go gently. I'll keep my eye on that female and tell you exactly what she does, folks. Nice and slowly across there. You'll just start to see one coming into picture about now. Just through there, folks. Jace zooms in. That's one of the antelope just there. You see another one walking through shot. Okay? So you can gently go back to the line. I just wanted to give you a little indication of how the distance away. And both of the lioness have a few things in their favour now. The animals are walking away from them. The wind is very, very slight this morning. It's in the lion's favour. We've got the wind coming towards us, so the Nyala aren't going to pick up the scent of the lion. Oh, goodness. Still 4 young bulls. None of them aware of what's in their midst. The other lioness is to the left of the one that you can see in your picture at the moment. She's well undercover, and they're covering bases at the moment, because if those Nyala do walk back that way, one could come out and chase and push the other ones onto the other female and they would have success. If they come our way, they're really going to have to reassess their situation, because they've covered this open ground, and this open ground is very difficult to get across without being seen. Last caller regarding Ngala. Actually on channel 2, mate, but if you can let him know, that would be great. I did give a call out before, but I think people were on channel 3. There's 2 vehicles on lock, including plus ourselves at the moment, but just if you could just let him know, that'd be fantastic. Thanks, mate. Standing by. Okay, she's made a move, but I think it might have been a little early. I think that was that other female that came from round the back. We're watching our female here. Just pan back a bit, widen that shot please, Jace. That female through there probably jumped out a little bit early, couldn't wait, and now I think those individuals have taken off. Now you can see this female going through. She's having a bit of a sniff, and they have been unsuccessful. Well, it was definitely worth watching. The female that was around the back of the vegetation, here comes the other one out now as well, Jace. If you just want to pull back to a bit of a wide, and you can see where the 2 of them, the proximity to the animals were. You got one coming through there. You can just see at the bottom of the screen, walking through there. Now, it's a little bit like the team walking out onto the pitch and seeing the quality of the pitch and where they went wrong. The female on this side was doing a fantastic job trying to be patient and see if they walked back, but the other female, she took a chance and she didn't, unfortunately, she overstepped the mark basically. The distance was way too far for her to accelerate. They've got a great acceleration line, but it has to be, the mathematical equation has to be that their acceleration has to exceed the other animal's acceleration in the distance given, and that was completely out of her realm of possibility, that distance. She probably tried to go for a bit of cover, but you got 4 bulls there, 4 sets of eyes, watching with great awareness, even when they're browsing. One of the things about Nyala as well, they're predominantly browsers and do a little bit of grazing as well. Their heads are up high enough to always be looking. There's not a great deal of cover out there. They had great cover when they were moving up originally, but now they just took a chance. And this happens, there's a massive percentage of of lion hunts that are unsuccessful, and they will try again, but they're definitely hungry, and they're definitely going to sit pretty here. So I'll tell you what we might do is let me just find out with Control how Scott's getting on. These females are just going to sit for a second, and I think we might stay with them, if that's all right with everyone, because they are on the hunt. We just don't know what they're going to do. They move on to Juma. We're going to be able to follow them with much greater intensity. I was a little bit stuck here because I'm not allowed to drive any further where I was from here. So not the end of the world. Beautiful to see the behaviour. Beautiful to watch that and talk about that behaviour as it was happening. Hopefully, I don't know, predict a little bit of it. I hope I try to get a little bit of it right there. You just don't know, but it's a lovely thing to watch and a lovely thing to be part of, to see that hunting behaviour unfold before your very eyes. So let me just check with Control, folks, and see what happens. Control, do copy? Okay, no problem, copied that. Folks, I'm just going to sit and watch these females for a little bit. Scott, unfortunately, has had a little bit of a technical hitch in the jigger. The vehicle has got a little bit of a technical hitch that we're just dealing with at the moment, back at Control. So you're stuck with me for a bit. We've only got one vehicle out. I think our best thing to do would be to stay with these females, if that's okay with you. Please send me a tweet again. I just want to know what you guys want to do. They are on the move. They're not flat cats, so they're on the move, and they're actually walking potentially this direction. They're just going to lie in the shade there, I think, and wait. But who knows what they'll do. It's up to you. Let's see what we get on with. So if you can send us a text or an email, or a tweet, that would be great. Yeah, copy that, mate. I'm just going to drive down back on the road here, folks, and see if we can get another shot, another view from the other side. Wow. Oh, goodness. That was intense. That was intense. That was really intense. We've got a lovely shot of this female here. I'll just have a little chat with you because I'll watch her and make sure she's just keeping her eye out at the moment. Thanks for your kind words and comments about the commentary. I hope it was fitting to the situation. It's prediction. It's predicting the behaviour. It's hopefully knowing a little bit about the behaviour and what the animals could potentially do. It's a bit of guesswork with us. We're not lions, but after you've watched lions for a bit of time, you can sort of predict the strategy that they will use, and hopefully we got a little bit of it right. But thank you very much for the kind words. These two lioness are hungry. And that's what's a fantastic thing to know. They are going to hunt. When they hunt, who knows? If it gets really, really hot, it's quite intense now. Control, can you just give me a temperature check, please, when you get a chance? It would be... You can see that animals just change their behaviour and their tactics. They're lying in the shade. There's still a little bit of a breeze. It's not too hot, but if they had full bellies, they'd be flat. That's for sure. They're hungry. They're really hungry, and they want to eat. It really just reaffirm their inexperience with hunting nyala then to me as well. I'm just getting a temperature check, folks. Just stand by for me. Okay. Thank you, control. 21 degrees Celsius, 69 Fahrenheit. So 65 or 69, control? Just broke up a little bit then. No, they'll come back to me. 69 Fahrenheit. Thank you very much. Just broke up a little bit. 69 Fahrenheit, 21 C. So we're talking about a temperature that's not too hot, but the sun, being in the sun, is quite intense. So what we just saw, I'm still watching them, they haven't moved, so I'll make sure I'll finish sort of talking, but it's a nice time just to sort of reflect on what we saw. Just to go back to the beginning, when we arrived, they weren't, like, you could just see when they stood up and stretched, they didn't have full bellies, they had empty stomachs, and the behaviour, the posture, and then just the sort of presence of the two individuals, I gathered that they were not going to go to sleep. They were keeping their eyes open for opportunities. Now, this is a tactic that they will use quite often. They will just lie in the shade off the vegetation line, and depending on the species, they will... I'm just listening to control telling me that everyone, overall majority of people want us to stay. So stay it is, folks. Fantastic. Thank you very much. I would love to do that as well. It's safe. We're with cats. We're with big cats in Big Cat Week. It's a beautiful thing. So thanks so much for the feedback. So just to go back and we'll talk through that behaviour. They lay there. They sat. She saw some movement up there, but she wasn't sure. I'm a little bit more elevated than her. She was lying down, she couldn't quite make it out, but as soon as she saw that tail flick of that nyala, she sat up. As soon as she sat up and she locked on, that's when we saw the behaviour change. The behaviour was much more a predatory, going into hunting mode. She sat up, head gets very alert, head drops down, looks. Sorry, I'm trying to act it out now for you and look like a lion. It's not going to work. You saw that change, and then they waited, and they waited so patiently. Perfect wind conditions, the wind's in our favour here. It's a really interesting thing to watch, and when we do turn to the line now, after I finish this little explanation, you'll see the direction that they are facing. They're facing into the wind. So they're going to be looking for animals that are coming onto them, using the wind to their advantage. They are downwind from the prey species, which means that, pardon me, the animals that are walking up to them will not smell them. So that was in their favour. They were sort of on a side angle from the wind, but they were still, according to the proximity to the nyala, they were downwind. And then once those nyala went behind that little bit of cover, we said it, and it was great to say, they're going to move. And sure enough, she did. Bang, 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 bang. She walked up to this side. Let's just pop onto the lines whilst I'm talking and have a look. They're still right in visibility to us. Just move up there, Jace. They're just across there. You can just see the female lying down. Now she's facing into the wind, folks. Let's get on in there. She's looking at us at the moment. There she is, just right in the centre of the screen now, sitting in the shade. Her partner, hunting partner, is just to her left in a little depression behind an anthill. So I know she's there, and she's now got the wind coming behind her, the back of her head, now into her side of her face there, and that's the direction she's looking. She's looking for any animals that are going to come across. She's looking, smelling, picking up scent as well, picking up scent. Really nice. Oh, the other individual's right there next to her. Okay, this is nice. Really nice. Just both sat up there. You can just make them out, that beautiful outline. Other one looking around, keeping a look behind them as well. The female on the right seems to be the one that was doing the original hunt. Okay, something else is happening right now. Look at the body posture change, the intensity. The hunting mode engages and her body posture sits up, and then she'll stay motionless and she'll wait to see what is coming. Once she engages, she would drop down and probably move in a very, very low stalking position. But again, she's well out in the open there. These animals are going to have to walk sort of down through the vegetation towards us for them to not be noticed or to go unnoticed. Okay, she's moving forward here. We're just going to move forward as well. She's moving forward at quite a pace. I'm just going to move forward. She knows she's got cover, and whether it's those nyala again, I'm not sure. She stopped. She's moving again. Other female still standing there, folks, just to let you know. She's back exactly where she was. She's moving again. She's going to walk right across the road in front of us, folks. Cannot go any closer. Look at that stance. Look at that stance. Incredible. Motionless. Undetected. The other female is about 150 feet behind her. She's going to sit and be patient. Motionless. Scent and sight will be the two senses that the prey species, whatever it is, and it probably still is those nyala, will be using. And sense of hearing, but those line just move silently. The other female's coming up behind. I'll tell you what the other female's doing. She's moving at a similar sort of stance, or similar gait, sorry, as the other. She's now closed the gap to about 50 feet. About 15 metres. Again, folks, all I can do for you here is get you these pictures and tell you that this is what Safari Live is all about. The animals that they are looking at are on another reserve, so I'm not going to be able to follow them in, but we will be able to watch this unfold. These two females are hungry. The alert, attentive look on her face means that those nyala probably didn't see them perfectly, and now she's looked away. Maybe they have gone. Maybe she has got them out of sight now, or they've run off. I can't actually see from where I am. The vegetation is too thick. But all I can see is this magnificent female who seems to have lost interest a little bit in that, just by her posture and positioning and head turning, still trying to pick up scent. And now, with that mouth open, turns around and will go back into the shade and lie down with her hunting partner. She's just going to lie down there, so we might just drive up a little bit closer. We have to stay on this road, but it's still a beautiful view from where we are. Get some lovely pictures of these two beautiful females. Wow. Two hunting behaviours back to back is like pure gold to be watching live from the Sabi Sands in South Africa here on Safari Live. It's just the sort of thing that this is all about. It's being in the moment, right here, right now. What you're watching, we're watching. And these two lioness just had a bit of a try. The first one was potentially going to be the one that occurred, and was more fruitful than this one. But they both definitely are hungry. Wow, how beautiful was that? What did you think of that, Jace?
I absolutely loved that. It was so exciting.
Yeah, pretty nice. So it's a little bit trickier for two females. They normally, you know, 3 individuals makes life a lot easier. You'll get either 2 lying in ambush position and 1 skirting around and flanking, or pushing individuals into like a cul-de-sac or into a dead end or into a vegetative area that the animals end up running through onto the other 2 waiting lines. So unsuspecting prey walk into an ambush really. But with 2 of them, it's a little bit tougher to work with. They will have success. They've just got to work a little bit harder, and they're obviously gotten to this age, so they've been doing a bit of hunting by themselves already, that's for sure. They're not youngsters. Well, when I say not youngsters, they're probably, as we said, about 3 to 5 years old, but in magnificent condition. And this is what we were talking about before now. Now they're going into that facial sort of appearance where the heat is getting to them, starting to close their eyes. They'll probably just roll over flat in a minute or 2 and lie down. And then just sit, lie and wait. They've got superb hearing. So if they get into a nice position, they might not stay in this position all morning. They might move into a little bit more of a tucked up position under some vegetation, and use A, the shade for to their benefit, and B, the little bit of cover to just sort of camouflage them for any unsuspecting prey walking on top. And then, if the opportunity arises, they will launch themselves into hunting mode and take down something. So the great thing for us is that we've got 45 minutes to go, and we know where they are. They're not on our reserves at the moment. We're just on a common road at the moment, so we're watching from this side. But if they were to come onto one of our reserves that we do drive on, we can follow up this afternoon. A little bit of scenting, picking up scent. So what we've sort of seen with the males, the Birmingham boys, is that males only really hunt for themselves when there's no sort of no free meal, I suppose you could call it. They will participate in hunts, definitely participate in hunts in prides when the prey is big, like giraffe or buffalo. They are sometimes the linchpin or the final blow that will just take that animal over if the lioness are struggling for size. When you've got a male lion that's sort of 200 kilograms plus, not always, but they get up to over 200 kilograms, which is sort of over 400 pound. The males will launch themselves in there and be the final blow, and then they do get first crack at the spoils of that hunt, and then the females normally will be next in line, and then the cubs after that will pick up what's left over. But the male lions really only do sort of proper hunting when there's no sort of free meal around from the lioness, or they may be stealing from a hunt from hyena or something like that. But what you just saw then and what we experienced together, folks, was absolutely magnificent lion physiology and hunting behaviour. It was just beautiful to watch, and the way that it unfolded, and the perfect design of these magnificent creatures, these apex predators. I've just got a question coming through, so I'll just please stand by. Okay, Control, what's the question? We just got a very good question from Mary in Nashville, in the US. Thank you so much, Mary. A really great question. Welcome aboard to you. Mary just wanted to know what would happen if the Birmingham males, the 5 males that we've seen successfully hunt 3 times in the last sort of week, what would happen if they turned up? Well, it's a bit of a messy sort of, well, who knows? It could be very amicable. The females would be, she's just gone flat down, and the other one will probably go down very, very quickly. The heat's getting to them now. The Birmingham males may already know these 2 females. They may, if these females belong to another pride, the Birmingham males may be a little bit hesitant. These females also could have an engagement with the Birmingham males that might not be too pretty to watch, but at the end of the day, they'd come to their senses very, very quickly that they could not overpower those 5 boys, and would probably submit just to some really nice sort of social behaviour over time, and then that might be the beginning of a pride. Who knows? But it's very, very hard to say what the behaviour would be like. they might take off. They might just run for the best that they possibly can do. They might just scoot through the bush and just get out of the way. And then the Birmingham males may pursue them. The Birmingham males, depending on how they were feeling and how much food they'd had, may just fall asleep and digest, and maybe a couple of breakaways might take off and look for them. There's so many different things that could happen, Mary, and it just depends. But wow, wouldn't it be interesting to see? And yes, goodness me, we can always cross our fingers that there was interaction like that, because that's very, very interesting to watch. Interpreting is difficult, but you would definitely see some very, very interesting behaviour. Great question, Mary. Thank you very much. So the one female is much more interested in hunting than the other, as you can see. I'm just having a drink, folks. Please excuse me. Just adjusting our shot there, folks, for you, just to make it level. We're on a bit of an angle here. I've put Jason on, so we're just going to adjust that up for you. That's good. That's nice. And then we might just go in a little bit tighter on them just to see. That's lovely. So these two females, if you've just joined us, just to recap a little bit, we've been with them for quite some time now. Scott got onto them this morning, and God, I wish he was here. I really do. It pains me to have to come and take over a sighting sometimes, but just that signal, folks, just we can't explain it sometimes. The signal, we've got this incredible technology and some amazing brains the size of Texas working on this, but occasionally you'll get a little hiccup with a signal from our transmitters and our repeaters one morning that can just give us a little bit of grief, and it pains me to have to take this over from Scott. But we want to bring the pictures to you, obviously, and I know Scott would definitely be behind that. He's 100%, but Scott's just madly in love with cats as well, and this is really for him, this footage. I really want to send this out to him just as much as everyone that's watching. Scott is so knowledgeable about big cats, and he loves lion to bits, so this is really going out there for him too. You can see this female, she's really smelling the air, and she's got the wind in her favour, as we said, picking up scent. Now these two females, if buffalo came upon, they would probably have a bit of a hard time to protect themselves. The 5 males that we saw the other night, in that incredible exchange of power and confidence and courage to stick by that kill that they made and not be afraid of that huge herd of buffalo that took them on. It was quite astounding to watch, but these two females would really struggle with that. They probably wouldn't have the experience or the power behind them, or the numbers behind them to push off a buffalo herd, or definitely the mother. It's all about experience, it's all about courage, it's all about commitment. And if a lion charges at a buffalo, I mean, we've seen loads and loads of footage around Africa, everyone. I'm sure you've watched many a documentary about this, but generally speaking, these two females will probably be going for smaller things like nyala, kudu, maybe zebra, wildebeest definitely, and impala, warthog. And you know what? If times get really tough, they'll start to go for smaller things as well. I've even seen them eating lizards, trying tortoises, you know, porcupine, which is always a very amusing engagement between a porcupine and any predator. So they're really starting to just feel this heat now. We've got another question coming through, folks, so I'll just get that. She's brought her head up again. She's interested. Her hunger is actually overriding her need to get out of this heat. She's looking around. I'm constantly looking around as well. Last caller for the Ngala on Cheetah Cutline and Gary Main. Hi Andrew, how are you, mate? Yeah, still on lock here. It's just us. They're just flat at the moment. We're just on Gary Main, watching from the road at the moment. Two females, and they're flat at the moment, mate. No line-up as far as I'm aware in the comms that I've got on this channel, mate. Okay, copy, mate. Standing by. Oh, well, we have flat cats. Okay, folks, I'm going to ask you, I'm sorry I've asked you this 3 times today, but it's really important, and this is exactly what we would do with our guests on the vehicle. I really would love to know if you would like to move on. My guess is that these two are going to stay lying down now in this shade because the heat is getting quite intense, and we could move on and have a little bit of a drive, or we could sit with them. Completely up to you guys, but I think that we are going to be sitting watching them like this for the next half an hour. So we've got an opportunity to drive around a little bit more, but it's completely up to you. So get to us via Twitter, hashtag Safari Live, or email, and we'll do a really good analysis of this, and we'll go with the majority rule. So I'll stand by for you, and Control will let me know that. Yeah, copied. Negative Control. Yeah, affirmative. Just getting a question through from control, folks. I just want to find out who it was from again. It was just breaking up. Okay, thank you. I heard you properly then. Thanks so much, Control. We just got a really great question from Barb G on Twitter. Hi, Barb. I think you've asked us a question before, Barb, which is fantastic to have you still on board with this. Great stuff. Barb, your question is, do lions see in colour? Well, the answer is yes. They don't see, from what science has shown, they don't see in colour as good as we do or our eye does. That being said, they do have, from what I know, or from what I've read, they do have much more acute vision than us. We're pretty good for primates, I have to say. You know, as primates go, primates have got fantastic sense of vision, particularly a lot of the arboreal or the tree-dwelling monkeys can see for a very, very long distance. But, you know, primates have got a really great field of vision. We're not fantastic in the evening, but whereas lions have this amazing ability to adjust their iris, and you've probably seen that in a domestic cat when it's in the day and it's full sunshine or something, you've got the tiny little slit of an iris, and then at night that iris expands to let in all the available light possible. So they have rod and cone receptors at the back of their eye, which gives them a fantastic availability to see colour and have a top sense of vision at night. They're definitely head and shoulders above us in the evenings and many of the other animals. So all the cats have got this incredible ability to adjust their iris, make it massive when night falls, and use all available light possible. But the answer is, scientists have found that they do see in colour, but not quite as accurately as we do. Hopefully that answers your question, Barb, and great to have you aboard as always. If you read the books and you look at the stats and you look at the sort of science, and there's loads and loads of different papers been written on it, and there's some amazing scientists working in the world on lion behaviour. Lions in twos, and there's probably science being done as we speak on this. Lions in duos like this, their success rate isn't that fantastic at their hunts, so they've got to work really, really hard. They might also have to modify their behaviour, their diet, as we said, onto some smaller things, and takes any opportunity that comes to them. But it's going to be well under 50% success rate from what the stats show. So as soon as they go to 3, their success rate improves dramatically, and that's because of the strategy and the sort of the ambush design that they can use in a triangulation type of a structure for that hunting strategy. So these two females are going to be up against it a little bit, but they'll be fine. They'll survive. There's ample food availability here on Sabi Sands, and they will definitely make a kill today. It might not be this morning, but it'll definitely be within the next sort of 12 hours, I'd imagine, and hopefully we'll be around to witness that or come upon them and see what happens if they stay on the reserves that we are traversing. So I think I've just had some feedback from our control room. I'm just waiting. The control room is so lovely and well mannered, folks. They're so polite in there. They always wait till I finish speaking. We do have a 5-second delay as well, so they have to wait until I speak, and they're just the most polite human beings on the planet. Control, are you there? They're not talking to me now. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, it's a split decision, folks. My goodness. Oh, that's the pressure on, folks. Goodness me, I thought you were going to decide for us. folks, you've said 50-50. They've just done some numbers and some stats. They've crunched the numbers in the control room, and having two Alexes in there who have both got massive grey matter in their skulls. They've pretty much drawn it down the line, and thanks guys back there, you've asked us to make the decision. So Jace, it's up to you and I. Do we stay or do we go?
I reckon there's too much potential out there to waste. So I reckon we go and try and find something else.
Okay, mate. Jason's made the decision, and I totally respect that, mate. It's a really good one. These girls are going to be flat cats from my little bit of experience that I have on this. A lying line is probably going to be a lying line for some time. So I'm just going to reverse back down to this road here, and I do have to make sure we go, sorry, I've got my sunglasses on there, it's just a bit bright there. It was not a fantastic signal here, so I'm going to go along the cheetah cut line. This is a reserve boundary from Juma to the next door neighbours, and I'm going to be very, very careful because I don't want to lose you. And I'm going to do my very best. I don't want to lose you guys. That was a beautiful morning, my goodness. I feel on top of the world from that, Jace. And everyone, guys, that's just, whoa, to see that behaviour, even without success, it doesn't matter. It's not important that it was a successful hunt. For us to see big cats hunting in that strategy, in that behaviour, and us being witness to that, worth its weight in gold. Really fantastic. Wow. Love this place, love this place. But you don't know what's around the next corner. And Jace, I totally hear you on making the decision to move. Now, we can go down this little road here. I like the look of this little road, Jace. It's a road less travelled. Just going to wait for this safari vehicle to come so I can explain to them where the lines are. So if you guys just bear with me for a second. I'm just going to have a quick chat with this other safari vehicle, folks, so please just bear with me. Hey big man, how are you, mate? You okay? How are you, Andrew? You well? Yeah, good, mate. Good. Hi, folks. Mate, they're just, if you went on down onto the junction and turned left onto Gowrie Main, they're just flat at the moment, just probably about 15 metres in from the road, 20 metres in from the road.
Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure, mate. Great to see you. Have a great morning, guys.
See you around.
Okay, cheers. I really feel the pressure when it's only one vehicle out, because I want to make sure I keep good signal for you, and I don't want to lose you. So please know that we're doing our best to make sure we stick in areas that we know a good signal. I travelled through an area back there that was a bit ordinary, so I don't want to do that to you again. Little bit of a track less travelled down here. I like this. Wasn't that great? Wasn't that great this morning? Oh, so fantastic. There's only one thing missing. Well, two things missing. One thing missing was Scott. Scott and Brian. I wish they were there for that. And Pete as well. Whenever I see things like that, I just want Pete to be sitting there and sharing it with him as well. Really quite special when you do have those encounters when there's two vehicles or you've got another person on board. Jace is always with me, or Brian, or BM. It's great to have someone to share it with. I definitely mean that sincerely. I just want to make sure I've got good signal. So we might just carry on along here. Control, how's the signal looking? Okay, we're trying to stay safe. We've got just over 15 minutes to go, so I think we should just have a little poke around here and see what we can find. I'm just going to turn right and go back onto this main road because I know it's a little bit more a little safer. As soon as we start to drop down there, we start to lose signal. I'm going to go very slowly along this road just here. Lovely tortoise crossing the road here, folks. Oh, shame. He's got... Check him go. I think Scott had a really great chat to you about tortoise yesterday, so it's lovely just to let him pass. Go on, off you go, buddy. They're really active after the rains, and now this moisture's coming. There's a lot of mating behavior going on that I think Scott went through with you yesterday morning, and really interesting creatures. They can get up to very, very big size, about this big, and some predators will try and take them on as potentially a food source. They spend a lot of time trying to get it out. There's not many animals. Hyena can sometimes break the shells open if they can get a bite on them, and they're small enough. Control, do you copy? I'm going into a danger zone. I've got to go through this dip, mate, so please bear with me. I'll explain to everyone, but it's the only way we can go. And it's safer than going through the reserve centre. Just going to take it slowly. We may have a bit of break up down here. I hope we don't. I'm going slowly. Try and keep this signal. A few corrugations here on the roads as well, folks, and when it does shutter up and down like that, I definitely try and slow down. I'm gonna have a quick look at what's the best way for me to go to get you into safe signal. And before we go down into this dip, okay, so if I just go along here a bit further, we'll go through this dip. We're going to turn right. We're going to get back onto some pretty safe ground. We do break up a little bit here, folks. Bear with us. Stick with us. Bit of a roller coaster down here. We do get a little bit of bad signal just in this area here as well. Getting to safe ground for you. So we may see something here if we're lucky, and then we're going to pop up to the treehouse dam just to for our last sort of 5 minutes. Hello, there's some nice buffalo boys over there. Couple of sorry Jace, I've parked on a bit of an angle here. Every time I do that, Jason's got to straighten his horizon. A couple of old bulls that are potentially past their prime, just hanging out together, using the cool, lovely cool water and the mud to lie on. They do this quite often. It's classic buffalo behaviour. Get down here. They're both ruminating at the moment, so that means they're chewing their cud. We've talked about that many times before. These animals, same as giraffe, well, in the same sort of stomach area, they've got a several chambered stomach where they have the ability to regurgitate their food, and that's exactly what they're doing. You may have seen it, folks, when you've been driving through the countryside. You look at cattle or any cows that you see in the countryside, maybe just sitting down like this and doing that sideways motion with their bottom jaw grinding, regrinding and turning that regurgitated rumen, it's called, partially digested vegetation, over again, and getting the most they can out of it, breaking it down so when it goes into the other chambers of its stomach, it then starts to break down that cellulose, which is very difficult to break down for most of us, but ruminants have fantastic specific digestive, a really complex flora, bacteria in their gut, and they break that down, turning it into energy. Fantastic, beautiful, two boys. Let's move on. See what else we can see. Beware, my friends, there's two lioness just up there, but I don't think they'd be taking you guys on somehow. Okay, we're just reversing off the damn wall. Wow, I'm still on a high from those lioness hunting. Fantastic. We've got 10 minutes. We're going to make our way up to Twin Dams, and I think we'll probably just sit there and finish and watch a few birds. I can see some Egyptian geese here and a few other things. There's a blacksmith plover, blacksmith lapwing it's now called. We might just have a look at a few birds as well. We never want to forget the birds. Really important. They play a major role in the food chain and in seed dispersal as well. Certain birds will eat the fruits and seeds, or the fruits particularly of certain species of plants, and then carry those seeds in their droppings to another area and disperse the species. So this is the species that the animals were trying to hunt, the lion. Sorry, Jace, it's a bit of a quick one there, but let's just have a quick look. They were trying to hunt. You'll just see the animal coming through there. It's a bit hard. It's a nyala. We've seen nyala many times before. You might get a better shot just coming through those trees in a second. He's just to the right, Jace. Yep, that's him. That antelope there is the animal that the lions were looking at. There was 4 of them, and as you can see, they love that wooded, vegetated area. But there was a little bachelor herd that we had. Little bachelor herd of 4 bulls. They weren't very old. They weren't as old as that one there. They were probably a few years, 3 years old, 2-3 years old max. But that bull there's a bit older than that. He's got beautiful horns, and you can always tell pretty much tell the age of antelope just through the size of their horns. So that's why we look at the horns, particularly with kudu, those beautiful, elegant, majestic antelope. I just think they're one of my favourite antelope, and they've got those big spiraled horns, and you can get a bit of a gauge on how old they are from that. So I'm just going to move a little bit faster through here. It's not too fast that we're not seeing things, but we're just going to plonk ourselves up at Treehouse Dam. to finish on. We've got just under 10 minutes. It's been a great morning. Sadly for Scott and Brian, I really miss them. I love the whole interaction of having two vehicles out, but that's what happens sometimes. It is what it is. We'll make sure that Jigger gets sorted out before this afternoon, of course. These beautiful vehicles that we drive, we really treat with tender loving care. As I've always said, we wrap them up at night, we protect them. They're looked after by all the team. Jason looks after the fuel and oil and things like that. Everyone's a bit of all round. We make sure that they're really well looked after, but sometimes there'll be just a little technical glitch because you know, we're in the bush, that's all there is to it, and we're in rough terrain, and something might come loose or something like that, but we'll get it sorted, don't worry about that. We always make a plan. We always aim to bring you pictures through here on Safari Live from these beautiful reserves, Arathusa and Juba in Sabi Sand, South Africa. And what a pleasure it is, folks, to be able to do this. I am just in my element, showing people, wonderful people, the beauty of the African bush. But remember, I want you to apply the passion and enthusiasm that we all have to not just the African bush. I want you to apply it to your own backyard. I want you to apply it to your country, your habitat, wherever you are. Protect them, look after them, learn about them, take the kids out them, get amongst it. Really, really important. You can't leapfrog and overstep your own backyard. I teach that to kids in England all the time. You know what? The English countryside and the English wildlife is just as beautiful as the African, as the North American, as the Australian, and the list goes on. You have to make sure that the kids and adults alike see the value in their own backyard. Really important. Yeah, really, really important that we do that. Okay, we've got about 6 minutes and we'll get there. Got a question coming through from Beverly on Twitter. Great question, Beverly. Thank you very much. I'm just going to park up on the dam wall here and settle down nicely. Actually, I'm going to reverse on, and that way I don't have to twist my neck around and pretend that I'm an owl. So we'll just sit here and have a little look-see. Jason always worries about me reversing onto the dam wall, seeing as it's only about an inch wider than our vehicle. One side's quite a steep drop, the other side's in the drink. Tell me when's a good shot for you, Jace. Is that nice? Oh, that's a bit close for comfort. Oh, that is a bit close for comfort. You should be worried, Jace. Nearly went off the edge there. Let me just try that again. How's that, Jace? Happy days? Okay. It's just a beautiful pool, but you know, something might come. It was Beverly, wasn't it, Control? That's how short my memory is these days. Beverly. Sorry, Beverly. I was just concentrating on not falling off the damn wall. Beverly, your question is, are Nyala the largest of the horned antelopes? Well, the answer to that is no, they're not. They're a beautiful antelope. They're sort of a mid-sized antelope. The largest antelope in Africa, well, the largest antelope in the world actually, is the eland, E-L-A-N-D, eland, and they are an absolutely spectacular, beautiful, beautiful antelope. And I would say that the Nyala are probably on the lower, it's probably mid to low end size. You've got some tiny antelope in Africa. You've got Steenbok, Oribi, Dik, a beautiful little antelope. They're only about this big. And then you've got all the way up to eland. And then you sort of, after eland, you drop down to sort of kudu and those sorts of size. And then you've got loads of other ones as well. Sable antelope, roan antelope. You've got bush buck. And there's a lot of other ones. So they're sort of in the mid, sort of just underneath the middle in the size of antelope. But they fall into a category called the horse-like antelopes or the spiraled horned antelopes. But great question, Beverly, and hopefully that answers your question. Okay, we'll probably start to say farewell, and I think I'm going to see if Jace can get some images here of maybe a woodland kingfisher potentially diving into the water. Hey, I've raised the bar quite high there, Jace, hey? I'm going to watch one for you, but at the moment, you probably could just pan up to, I can see him over there, yeah. You know what, I think we've got a better luck with these beautiful southern masked weavers here. So we might just pull back and finish on those pictures of these beautiful animals. You've seen enough of my head today, but I'm just going to talk you through what we've caught up with today whilst you're watching these beautiful pictures of these weavers that Scott and myself and Pete have all stopped at and had a bit of a chat about, learning so much from each other about these beautiful birds. But folks, today was an incredible experience for us. I enjoyed it immensely. I really thank you for being with us. I thank you for watching. I thank you for all your questions and your support and everything. And really try and come back and watch us tonight at 4 o'clock Central African time. You can come back and watch us on Nat Geo Wild tonight for Big Cat Week. You can watch us online as you do normally. Whatever you choose to do, you can do. Just as long as you're with us, we love having you aboard. From Jason and I want to say farewell. I want to say how incredible it was to see those two lioness hunting this morning, and this is what Safari Live is all about. You've been great. I say farewell. Have a great night, morning, evening, breakfast, wherever you are in the world, and we can't wait to see you and have you on board Safari Live again this afternoon. Take care, folks, and we'll talk to you soon.